Hey everyone, and welcome to Gardening with Ben for your New Year Roundup episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. So welcome back to our New Year Roundup special, where we talk about all the things that we have done throughout this year, all the success, all the failures. So I hope you enjoy this episode. But first off, we need to give this desk a lick of paint and make it look professional, ready for our videos for next year. So let's give it some lick of paint, everyone. So there we have it, all nicely painted now. So once it's fully dried out and it's stopped dripping in here, I can give it another coat, but for now it will do perfectly fine. We just need something behind us, really, a nice backdrop to make it look a bit more special and a bit more like a studio. So let's get a backdrop added to it. Let's go! And if by magic we are now in a winter wonderland. But yeah, we've got a nice little backdrop. So plan is to change it each season so that it fits the season of the year as well. But this desk, it's just missing something off the front. We just need something to fit on the front of it, something the right size. So let's have a think. Let's think. And there we have it. We have a professional sign now on the front. So it looks all professional and it'll do its job. Everybody knows who I am. Gardening with Ben. So yeah, we are now ready to start filming our videos down here and showing our talks as well. So let's talk about our New Year Roundup and share with you all our success and our failures. So let's get on with our roundup of 2024. Wow, this has been a bad year and a good year in some senses. We didn't get much sunshine or much heat this year. So a lot of people struggled with growing stuff and getting good produce. But I did success with certain vegetables and certain fruit, as some crops have been the best that they've ever been. And we'll start off talking around everything what we've grown on our allotment this year. So my plum tree did absolutely rubbish this year. It got a good lot of leaves on to start off with, and then it seemed to die off mid-year. Whether it got silver leaf, I don't know, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it comes back to life next year. Our rhubarb this year was absolutely fantastic. We had so much rhubarb this year, whether it were because it was a lot wetter, but yeah, we got certainly lots and lots of rhubarb and plenty of crumbles from them as well. Then our apple trees, we didn't get many cooking apples because we gave it a massive pruning last year. I've not pruned it much this year, so hopefully it will get a lot of cooking apples next year, because obviously pruning it too much can stress the tree out and reduce crops. The same goes for my eating apples. We got absolutely loads of eating apples off, but again, I've not given them a prune this year because they're in good shape for next year, so we don't need to prune them, ready for next year. Our tomatoes, our cucumbers and our peppers. We started some cucumbers off in the polytunnel. We got quite a few off on there, but I had a lot of plants left over, so I planted them all outside just to fill gaps in, not thinking that they'd come to anything. But wow, we had such an amazing crop of cucumbers outside. This was the Market More variety of cucumber. They did absolutely amazing, and it's given me hope to start growing them outside, probably because they get a lot wetter and get watered more often with it raining and stuff like that. So I'm thinking of trying them again next year outside. I did this with tomatoes because one year I grew them in the polytunnel and we had a massive heat wave and water restrictions and everything, so I didn't get them watered much. And the year after I planted them outside and they actually did really well, like the cherry tomatoes. So I've continued to grow the cherry tomatoes outside, and obviously it saves money on buying loads of compost as well to fill pots up.
so I continued growing tomatoes outside. Our peppers haven't done very well last year. It was the first time that I grew them in a long time, and I sowed them in March, April time, and they were only just fruiting in September. So I'm going to start them off this month ready and get them started. I'm going to get them germinated at home where it's a lot warmer because they need about 25 degrees to germinate, and hopefully give them that head start in growing for next year. Then our potatoes did absolutely fantastic. We grew them in boxes again. We've started growing them in boxes so that you don't stab them when you're digging them up. They don't get worms in them as much, the ringworm, and they don't get damaged as much. So I'm going to continue to grow my potatoes in boxes as it does well. Yes, it costs a lot of money to buy the compost to fill the boxes up, but the produce that we got from them was absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to continue that this year. What else? Beetroot. Beetroot again did absolutely amazing. First time I've tried cooking it in the air fryer. I cooked them like chips and they were absolutely delicious. So beetroot's done fantastic. As peas have been the best that they've ever been. Now I used to grow them in the ground, start them off in the ground and let them just germinate where they grow. But obviously we get a lot of squirrels, lots of mice, lots of rats down here, lots of birds, and they eat all the seeds. So I started them off in seed trays first and then planted them out when they were big enough to survive themselves. And they did absolutely amazing. We had so many peas this year. It was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to continue that method again this year. Then pumpkins, we got a few big pumpkins off, not many, but they were a decent size. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get better results from our pumpkins next year. As courgettes didn't do very well, as lettuce did fantastic. They always do well as lettuce. We grow the iceberg lettuce down here. And yeah, that's about everything that I grew this year. Fruit-wise, strawberries did absolutely rubbish. I planted 200 plants this year from runners, so hopefully we get some good crops next year down on the allotment. As blackberries, as thornless blackberries, absolutely amazing. It's growing so well now, my vine for my blackberry. I've tied all that up ready for next year, so hopefully we get another big crop next year. As raspberries, again, did fantastic. As autumn ones always seem to do better than the summer variety. So they did well. But yeah, we have had an amazing crop this year. And fingers crossed, I'm going to have an amazing crop next year. Like I said, I'm going to start off my peppers early. I'm going to start off some onions from seed. I'm starting them off as well this month. And yeah, we're going to start some chilies off as well. We're going to grow some chilies this year. And one of the next projects is to tidy out all my polytunnel. I've tidied all my shed out now, it's all done. We've got this new bench to do all his videos and filming, showing us potting up and growing stuff. So I hope you enjoy the new setup. But yeah, hopefully we're going to have a good year next year. As flowers did absolutely amazing. We grew some poppies last year for the first time. They did amazing. I grew like different varieties. We grew the black ones and they looked absolutely beautiful, and it's given me hope to try lots more different varieties next year. I literally went on Amazon and chose every different variety of poppy there is, so look forward to seeing them videos next year. And we started those off all in seed trays again. We didn't sow them where they meant to, like some people sow them where they meant to, but knowing my luck, I'll dig them up thinking the weeds, so I start them all off in seed trays. We grew salvia for the first time. Absolutely amazing. I bought some of that from BBC Gardener's World and it was absolutely phenomenal. They were blackcurrant type one which smelt of blackcurrants, and that was absolutely beautiful. So I've took lots of cuttings from that from last year. I've took about 20 cuttings and currently they are alive in my shed, all the cuttings they've taken. So we're going to plant them all out next year in springtime and hopefully have a lot more salvia down at the allotment. We grew lots of fuchsias. Sweet peas did amazing as well. We got some great sweet peas off, but this year I've sown them in September, October time to give them a head start ready for next year, because if you grow them early, then they'll get stronger and hopefully produce more plants next year. I've also trimmed them all back to about 6 inch so that they bush out more as well, as I've had that as a tip. They don't produce big flowers, but they produce more flowers. So we'll try that as well for next year. So they're still currently alive as well in here. We also grew some geraniums, which did well, but I'm going to start some off from seed as well this year. I'm going to try a variety of geraniums, different colours, different varieties, and see if we can get geraniums growing. And obviously with geraniums, if you dig them up and put them somewhere warm over winter, they will survive, and you can plant them out again next year and save money and plant them and have beautiful colour again. So again, they're currently alive in this shed at the moment. But yeah, I'm trying lots of different flowers for next year. I've also got some I forgot, aquiledias growing as well, and some lupins as well, what I've started from seed. They're currently here in the shed, so hopefully they'll all stay alive throughout the winter period. Obviously this is not a heated greenhouse or a heated shed, it's just got the natural elements, so hopefully they stay alive throughout the winter period. Fingers crossed it doesn't get too cold and they survive. So hopefully next year we'll have lots more colour down here. And again, sunflowers absolutely amazing, but again next year we're going to try lots of different varieties of sunflowers. So hopefully next year we're going to have a fantastic range of vegetables, fruit and flowers down here on the allotment. I always encourage everybody to grow flowers down at the allotment because it encourages the bees to the plot, and without the bees you don't get pollination. So the more bees that you get to your allotment and to your garden, the more produce you will get. So encourage them by planting flowers on your allotment and in your garden, and you will reap the rewards from it. So yeah, it's been a very successful year this year. I hope that you've been enjoying all these videos. We've started doing more content for you and lots more podcasts. And if you're not following my podcasts, do give them a follow. Just look on Spotify or Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, or even ask Alexa to play Gardening with Ben, and you can find it. And obviously you can follow all my social media channels down at the front. So hopefully next year we'll be bringing you tons more content for you to watch and to follow. So until next time everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining and keep gardening with Ben everyone.